simplysimplestamping.com. Welcome to my August 2015 Let's Get Creative video tutorial. This month's project is OMG cute. Look at this fantastic little Hershey Nugget birthday cake. Is that not cute? Do you see my little battery operated tea light going on there? This is going to be one of those projects you're going to get really excited to make. You're going to be shocked at really how simple it is. There are a lot of steps, but don't let that freak you out. Many of them are repeat steps. Once you've done it once, you're going to do it again and you got it. So let's go ahead and get creating here with our little Hershey Nugget cake. All right, so we're going to be using two sets of framelits today. We're going to use the Circles collection, and let me tell you what, we are flat out going to use that Circles collection. We're going to use it a lot. I'm also going to be using the hand-picked framelits. Now, if you don't have these, you might just be able to kind of wing it, but we're going to be using this framelit right here. So let me go ahead and get that one out. I'm going to go ahead and leave my circles nearby because we're going to go ahead and get to work. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to take all those squares, this is all there in your notes, that you're going to take any of the cardboard measurements. They all have a matching piece of Bermuda Bay. I've already adhered these down, but let me show you how I'm going to do it. Guys, we're going to be using our silicone mat, again, quite a bit today, so keep that handy. To start, I'm going to actually be using the Stampin' Up! Glue sticks. Guys, I absolutely love these. I've got my silicone mat underneath, and I'm just going to adhere this all over the back. You're going to do this to all the pieces that have cardboard. Let me make that real clear, just the ones that have the cardboard. We're just going to adhere that down. If you don't get it perfectly centered, it's fine. We're actually just going to be cutting with it. But the silicone mat's going to keep my working area here nice and clean. So you can see we've kind of got that done. And as I mentioned before, I had my other pieces already adhered down. Now we're going to come in with some framelits. I wanted to just tell you that I have, I'm using numbers to tell you which framelit to use. The middle one is number 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to work our way out. So we're going to start with number 10. That's going to go here on the large 5 by 5. Then we're going to use number 8. So let me come in one here. We're going to do that. On number 8, you'll really kind of be able to tell where they're going to fit. This one here, I believe, is number 6. Yes, number 6. There we go. I've got number 6. We'll run that one through. This one here is the one that we're going to cut hand-picked from. And guys, while you're there, you have got a piece of Watermelon Wonder that's cut 4.5 by 4.5. Will you go ahead and bring in the number 9 circle? And we're going to go over to the Big Shot. We're going to do a lot of Big Shot, and let's get all that cut out and ready to go. All right, check it all out. We've got everything cut. We have this Watermelon Wonder. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down to my scallop. Now, guys, you can do it with snail. You can come along and use the glue stick again, whatever makes you happy. So our candle is just a battery-operated tea light. Now, I have some measurements there for you using some of the Cherry on Top Designer Series paper. Before you cut that, you're going to want to measure just the height of your candle. Mine was 5/8 of an inch, but yours might be a little bit more. So I just want to tell you to go ahead and measure that. The diameter is probably still 5 inches. I can't imagine. Maybe they make them bigger, so you might check that too. But we're going to go ahead and adhere this down. Bringing in my silicone mat again, guys, we're going to use fast fuse, and we're going to be using a lot of fast fuse. So let me remind you my tip, which is to use a very light touch. Don't get heavy-handed when you use fast fuse. If you use a really light touch, you're going to be quite happy. I'm going to get to the end. I want to come off the end because I really need that to make sure I've got adhesive all the way down both ends. So let's just go ahead and wrap this around the candle. Now, I will tell you, you're going to get like these little lumps and bumps in there. Don't worry about it. We're going to totally hide that. So I'm just going to give that just a nice little press there. All right, I'm going to set that off to the side. One of the other things I had you do was punch out a 1 3/4 inch Daffodil Delight scallop. I'm going to come in with the number 1, the tiniest circle framelit that we have. We're going to run that through the Big Shot. There we go. I'm also going to bring in that piece of glimmer paper. Now let me show you what we're going to do here. I'm going to take the 1/2 inch circle punch and I'm going to push in as far as I can go. And then I'm actually going to have to use a circle punch here. I'm using the 1 3/8 inch, and you're probably going, but Connie, you have all those framelits. Why don't you just use them? Because I don't have a 1 3/8, and I need that. You notice I got busy talking instead of showing you. I just kind of lined up and centered that so it's going to slide right on there. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some fast fuse. You do want to kind of keep it to the center. You don't want fast fuse on those scallops, okay? Because the scallops are actually going to hang off the end. So give that a little flick. All right. So go ahead and kind of center up that scallop there. I can kind of flip it over, make sure everything looks good. I'm going to give that a press, and I'm now going to press down on those little scallops. It kind of looks like frosting on my little birthday candle cake. Isn't that awesome? We're going to do the same thing here, just adding some fast fuse on the glimmer, and we'll add that to the top. We're going to go ahead and work on the Watermelon Wonder. This is a 2 3/8 inch scallop circle that I had you punch out of the Watermelon Wonder. Let's come back in with a 1/2 inch circle punch. And if you'll just push it in as far as it will go, I'm going to punch that out. And what that's going to do is it's going to give me a little spot there that I can get to the switch. Just like that. Can you see it? Now I will tell you, because my circle punch only goes in so far, it really is centered, and you are going to be lining that up right on the edge of the candle. But guys, it works. It is centered, so we're good to go. So to adhere this down, we're going to actually come in with mini glue dots. And rather than do this right here in front of you, I'm just going to tell you, we're just going to put dots of mini glue dots. Avoid right here in front of the switch. Again, as I said, this is a very narrow spot. So let's just put, about 5 mini glue dots here. All right, there's my mini glue dots. You may notice they're a little kind of rolled together. I'm now going to come in. Guys, I have to tell you, every tea light is going to be different. I can't tell you what the bottom of your tea light's going to look like. Mine that I have has these little bars going across it, so I'm going to use a couple Stampin' Dimensionals. I find Stampin' Dimensionals to be a really strong adhesive. So let's peel off the back, and we're now ready to adhere this together. So, as I said, there is the edge. I can see it's right there on the edge. I've got access. Let's give that a good, strong push. Perfect. Now I can get to my little light switch and I can turn on my candle. Okay, now we do need to find a way to get this to stick. And the reason I wanted to start with this is so it would have time to dry. But you may be saying to yourself, Connie, but if you glue this down, how are you going to turn on the switch? We are going to use two-way glue. You may have been wondering what two-way glue is, and let me tell you what it is. It's two-way because it can be permanent. Oh, I got to kind of get it going there. Just sort of pump that glue. There we go. It's going to go on blue, but what it's going to do, if I let it dry before I adhere it down, it's going to become a temporary adhesive. And you know what? I'm going to kind of get some, there we go. Since I don't have anything kind of sort of hard underneath me, it's a little difficult to get this glue on there. So I'm just going to use my silicone mat here. A little bit more. We're all good here. Okay, again, as I said, we're going to set this off to dry. Make sure that you set it face up. So we're going to set it just like that. I'm going to let that dry. This is what's going to keep our cake together. This is just an empty brad container. I hope that you guys have been saving these. If not, if you have a brad container, you might take those brads or buttons or whatever and just put them in a Ziploc bag so you can use this. If you don't have one of these, the diameter is 2.5 inches. If you can find something that'll give you a base, that's what we're going to use. But first thing we need to do is we need to wrap these Hershey Nuggets. So let me bring in some Hershey Nuggets here. And we're going to take some of our designer series paper. This is the cherry on top designer series paper stack. And I've got the measurements there. They're 1x3s, but I have different colors going on, different color schemes. So you're going to want to look at that and decide what colors you want to use for your cake. On the bottom layer, I decided to alternate between the scallops and the dots. I just thought it was fun. So let me show you how we're going to adhere these down. Back in with that fast fuse. Remember that super light touch. We're going to go on one end and the other. And then here's my little tip for adhering the Hershey Nuggets, or adhering the wrapper. Do you see that wrapper right there? I want it to be off. I want my paper going in the same direction as that wrapper. And here's why. When I press it down and I go to wrap it, I want to be pulling on the wrapper and not pulling it off. So don't worry about it if you mess up. It's not the end of the world, but it does kind of make things a little bit easier. So you can see it's just a simple way. You're going to wrap all of the Hershey Nuggets. So to start, we're going to take one of our Hershey Nuggets. Now for this layer, we're going to be using just the scallops and the polka dots. I'm going to lay some fast fuse down the back. And guys, it's as simple as keeping the Hershey Nugget flat to the table and just giving it a press onto the side. You're then going to repeat with a scallop. Now don't go and press these on real hard. We may have to adjust them just a little bit, but you can see that's how we're going to adhere. We're going to go ahead now and go all the way around. Okay, we're on our last one, and I did want to point out that this will be the back, and yes, two of the polka dots will be right next to each other, but you know, that's just the nature of using things in an odd number. Okay, so I'm going to give that just a little press. I'm real happy with how everything looks. Now, we do want to kind of make sure we hold this on. We don't want it to go anywhere. I'm going to bring in the Daffodil Delight ribbon. And guys, we're just going to bring this around and we're going to tie it in a bow in front. So again, there's the back. Remember I told you I had those two polka dots that were the same, and we're going to be able to adjust this if we need to, but let's just go ahead and tie this in a bow. All right, I've got that all done. Let's just trim down the ribbon, but save these pieces. We're actually going to be using them in a little bit. So for layer number 2, you have a piece of Bermuda Bay that is 6.5 by 1.5 inches. I did a 1/2 inch score line all the way down one side. I'm just going to give this a press. I don't really need to come in with a bone folder, but I just need to be able to see that. We're going to do one of two things. I'm going to use the fringe scissors, and you can see I'm just going to snip right to that score line. This is what's going to allow me to curve this into a tube, basically. Now, if you don't have the fringe scissors, you can just come in. You don't need to notch it this tight, okay? It's just what the fringe scissors do. But you could just come in and just snip and notch it out. But boy, the fringe scissors, I have them out on my desk anyway, and they just make, first of all, it goes very fast. Can you see? All right, there we go. So we've got that all done. Again, we had our little fold there. And what we're going to do, I'm going to give that just a little twist. I'm going to put some fast fuse here on the inside. We're going to use a circle framelit. This is circle framelit number 4. I'm going to gently, I don't want it to touch just yet, so I'm going to kind of bring that in. Just, I don't want my fast fuse to touch. This is going to be used as a guide. This is going to help me line this up just right. So you can see, I can press that down. I'm just going to give this a nice gentle pressing it out so it's filling up. Does that make sense? We're just going to bring that out just like that. Then I can give this a press. Now listen, don't get crazy if you go, oh, it's off a little bit. Don't worry about it. It's all good. But that does act as a nice little guide so that we get the measurement that we needed. And you know what that measurement does? It's going to allow me to bring my my Hershey Nuggets on there. Perfect. So that's why I had to use circle framelit number 4, the medium-sized circle. This is the one that's on the cardboard, and we're going to want to adhere this down. Now don't worry, all of this is going to be hidden. You're not going to see it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring, you can kind of give yourself a visual, hold it on there first, but I'm just going to bring in some fast fuse. You can see I'm just going to kind of go around in a circle, again using that really light touch. Get to the end, we'll give that a flick. All right, so we can kind of center that up. Oh, is that just so easy or what? I love it. Okay, we can give that a press. Remember that method we just did with the framelit or with the Hershey Nuggets? We're gonna do that again. Super simple. Ready? Check it out. And my last one fits just right. So I can go ahead and give all of those a press. Now, we do want to kind of hold this on, and you can see some of my little fringe is showing, but that's okay. We're going to cover it up with that strip of Watermelon Wonder that you have. I'm just going to kind of give it just a little gentle curl, bring in my silicone mat again, and we're going to just place fast fuse all the way down. Again, this is why I just love using my silicone mat. I don't have to worry about adhesive getting anywhere on my work surface, because boy, the last thing I want to do is have my cake stick. All right, so what we're going to do now, I'm making sure that my cardstock is laying flat on that Bermuda Bay, and I'm just slowly bringing it all the way around, get to the end, and there we go. Awesome. Again, I'm going to come in. Let's give all of those a little press. Okay, that is my next layer of my cake. Oh, but you know what? How about we add some bling here? Woo! Okay, let me show you what we're going to do. I'm going to bring in, if I can find them, there they are. There are my mini glue dots. And what I found worked great is to just take a mini glue dot, guys, just put it right here towards the bottom. You notice I'm right there at the bottom near the cardboard. We're going to put a glue dot basically on every Hershey Nugget. We're going to do that all the way around, and then we're going to add some gorgeous trim, the Bermuda Bay trim. All right, glue dots all around there. Of course, we want to start at this back seam. I'm just going to press. Got 10 inches of the trim. There we go. All right, I'm just going to roll this around all the way around. When I get to the end, I am going to tell you, you're going to need one more mini glue dot and just stick it right down in there. Check it out. Isn't that, oh boy, that sequin trim just gives it amazing bling. I love it. Okay. Now let's work on that pick. This is our little happy birthday. Now I'm going to use the stamp set Tag Time. I just thought it was really fun. But listen, I know you guys have a ton of sentiments. You use whatever makes you happy. This one has a matching label bracket punch, so I'm going to use that. And remember, you can use your Big Shot dies, framelits, whatever works. But you can see this is just going to attach right on here. Let me show you my trick. I'm going to just put some fast fuse on the actual framelit. And check this out. Okay, first of all, make sure you got it right side up. This area right here of the label bracket, look at that. It's like this little thing was just meant to go in there. Ta-da! Isn't that awesome? So yeah, that's one reason I chose that framelit. You may be wondering why I was being so specific, and that's why. Now, remember those little extra pieces of ribbon? Let's just take one of them. We're going to tie it in a knot. And now I'm just going to come in with a mini glue dot, press that on. Hey, you know, it was scrap, and you know I love to use my scrap. But look, it just dulls that up so cute. Okay, it is time to put together the cake. Here we go. We're going to start with the base. We're going to bring in that bottom layer. Guys, I found the best thing is to just put Stampin' Dimensionals all around the case itself. So I'm going to go ahead and just start adding those. I don't have a specific amount. You don't have to go too crazy. Really, the dimensionals hold pretty good. What have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like 6 is going to be my magic number. But I have to get over it to kind of see if I'm centered. Whoa! Let's give that a press. All right, our base is good. We are secure here. And guys, we are going to put dimensionals on the top of the Hershey Nuggets right here. But I have a little trick for you. I don't want you to put it here, you know, down here. I don't want it to show. Actually, we're going to kind of have them, they're going to hang off just a little bit, okay? It's really, the first time I made it, they were showing a little bit. And so in the video, I wanted to make sure I told you to let them kind of hang off about halfway. And if you haven't figured out, this ribbon is just acting as a kind of an extra security blanket to make sure everything stays in place and that I don't lose my Hershey Nuggets. Same with this little bit here, that Watermelon Wonder, don't leave off that step because that's kind of holding everything in there. Yes, we use fast fuse, but you know, we've got some heavy duty Hershey Nuggets going on there. We don't want anything falling off. Okay, let me get all these peeled off. All right, these are all ready to go. Do you remember where the back was? Let's make sure we look at that. And remember, the back of this were the 2 polka dotted Hershey Nuggets. So let's make sure we bring those together. Finding the back, there we go. We're going to lay the top layer of our cake right there. Let's give that a good press. Yep, that's holding pretty good. It's not going anywhere. Okay, last layer. Let's take this one. We're gonna do that exact same thing. Well, by now, my candle that I set aside to dry is looking perfectly dry. It's just kind of tacky, and that's what we're going for. And again, I can just line it up. Well, I guess yes, I do have a back seam here, so I'm gonna line it up with the back seam there. I can center that up, and I can give that a press, and you can see it sticks, but look, I can easily pull it off, and so can the recipient of your beautiful cake, especially before you give it to them. I mean, you want to light that candle, right? So we can give that a press. Now we can take that little pick, and it goes right there. Now, maybe you want to take it up a notch. I don't blame you. Let's go ahead and bring in some rhinestones. This is totally optional because really, guys, I think the cake is just too stinking cute just like that. But let's say you wanted to doll it up a little bit. I'm going to take these small rhinestones, the smallest ones, and we can just add some of these right here to the scallop. Can you already see with the silver sparkle that we have going on with that glimmer paper? Just adding some extra bling. We can add that there. Now I'm not going to finish that. Now we can add some down here. And what you might want to do is take the medium-sized ones, but I am going to tell you what I did. I did every other scallop. It was just a tad much to go on every scallop. So we can just start adding these. And yes, when you go every scallop, you'll end up correctly when you get to the back. But, oh, come here, little guy, so you can see we can add those too. Now let me go ahead and bring in my finished one here because I have already added all of the bling. You're all set to go there, and my little pick, there we go, just tucks in right there. Guys, that is a gorgeous, gorgeous gift, don't you think? I hope you guys have gotten inspired after you saw the project and are really excited to create this. See, I told you it really didn't have as much, as a lot of steps as you thought. It's all gonna be fine. It's really all, I think the hardest part is just remembering and looking at your paperwork, looking at the tutorial, and knowing which circle to cut out of what. Honestly, I think that's probably the only hard part to it. But guys, this project is so worth creating. And you know what? It can be done a little differently if you want to do birthday or you want to do wedding. Of course, leave off the candle because no wedding cake has candles. But you could do these little picks, and you could do 2 and do a banner going across it that says welcome baby, or the baby's name, or congratulations. Get creative with this one. I'm telling you, I think you've got a lot of opportunity here. I wanted to mention one other thing. If you didn't want the candle, you could even do a few more Hershey Nuggets and just wrap it in cardstock and add that as that top layer as well. So again, as I said, really have some fun and get creative with this project. It's way too cute to pass up. So be sure to give this one a try this month. Guys, thanks so much for using your hostess code. I really appreciate you doing that for me. And you know, it just takes seconds. So guys, thank you again so much for being a part of Simply Simple Stamping. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Have a great August. We'll see you next month.